What's up, guys? It's time for the 2024 World Series of Poker. I'm out front of the Paris and the Horseshoe Casino where the World Series takes place. Last year, I made a very deep run in the Mystery Millions event, finishing 37th place out of over 18,000 entries. We're gonna play that event first tomorrow. It's a 1K buy-in. Make sure you hit like and subscribe because you never know when my next big score is gonna be. Let's go. All right, this is a bigger room than I was expecting. So I'm here at Planet Hollywood, in case you're wondering. For whatever reason, I must have booked this place because the comps were probably better. But it is right next door to Paris and the Horseshoe where the WSOP is, so it's like a 5 or 10 minute walk. And I haven't stayed here in like over 10 years, but this is a pretty sweet room. It's a lot bigger than what I was expecting. So that's a thumbs up. First things first, every time I'm in Vegas, I started off by getting a case of water from my room because you have to stay hydrated. Here in the desert, it's so dry, and that's really important for like your patience and these long tournament days. So I'm gonna go find some water. All right, the water is secured. Time to walk over to Paris and set up my Bravo account so that I can register for the tournaments without having to wait in line. Okay, so for this week's agenda, I'm definitely playing the Mystery Millions event tomorrow, and then on Friday, the day after tomorrow, I'll be simultaneously playing the 1500 Limit Hold'em event. I also made day 2 of that one last year, but I don't think I cashed. I cashed in it the year before that though. So those are the 2 events that I'll be playing this week. I'm not planning to play as many tournaments as I have in the previous couple of years. I'm kind of more focused back on cash games these days, but I'm not going to miss the World Series completely, so here I am for at least these 2 events. Alright, this is the main ballroom. It's the same shit as last year and the year before. Alright, I have a quick food tip for you guys. Right behind me is Paris across the street, and right in front of me is the Cosmopolitan. The Cosmo has a pretty decent food court on the 2nd floor. It's right across the street. In previous years, you guys have seen me get the sushi hand rolls and the nitro matcha drink that I really like there. But today I'm in the mood for a sandwich, and there's a place called Lardo's that has a good porchetta sandwich, so that's what I'm gonna grab. All right, this is the sandwich. That's my view. It's gonna be a good summer. Look at that, man. Not a bad view to wake up to. Good morning, Las Vegas. All right, I'm about ready to go play some poker. We're gonna play the Mystery Millions event today. Last year I cashed for over $27,000 in this event. Basically how it works is that on day 2, if you make day 2 of course, when you bust out a player, you get to pull out a bounty, and that bounty can be anywhere between $1,000 to $1 million. So there are more than one way of just, winning first place type of life-changing money in this event. That's what makes it a lot of fun and exciting. You don't know how much your bounty is gonna be worth until it's pulled. And last year, the guy that pulled the $1 million bounty was actually sitting at my table, which was awesome. Shout out to Patrick Liang. And yeah, I'm hoping to make another deep run this year, except deeper. All right, guys, we're in. That's the receipt. It's a $1,000 buy-in. Let's go. All right, right now we're on the break, and I have about 13 big blinds. I misplayed a hand pretty badly. I'm pretty rusty. Remember, I haven't played a tournament in like 3.5 months. I'm basically retired from tournaments, and it's showing right now because there are spots that I used to know off the top of my head, and right now I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. I just don't remember. So to make it worse, I also have a pretty good player to my left, Craig Varnell. And I haven't played with him in a few years, but I remember the last time I played with him, he was very aggressive, and we've already played quite a few hands together, so that's something to keep an eye on. We've already played at least 2 blind versus blind spots and some button versus blind spots, 3-bet hands. So That's kind of interesting. I'll get more to the hand analysis in a second. All right, so I just played like 3 or 4 hands with Craig at the 400, 800, and the 500 1K level. The first one was blind versus blind. I had ace-9 offsuit. I elected to open it to about 3x, 2400, and he called. And immediately I'm thinking in my head, I should these are borderline. You could either open, raise, or just limp it from the small blind. But against an aggressive player and a good player like him, where I'm going to be playing the pot out of position, I'm thinking I probably should be electing to just limp more and check call more. I didn't really think about that until I already had raised him. So the flop came out 10-5-3 with 2 hearts, and I put in a c-bet, which was probably a mistake here. I downsized to 2K. He calls 6x on the turn. It goes check check, and this is part of the reason why I don't like my c-bets, because on a board like that, I just arrived to the turn with too wide of a range, and a good player like Craig is going to take advantage of that and exploit me a lot. But he checked back, luckily, and we hit the 9 on the river, so now I'm thinking about value betting, but I decided to just take a check call line against an aggressive player here, and he ended up mucking, so I won the pot. And then a few hands later, very similar situation, blind versus blind again. This time I have ace-8 offsuit. This time I do limp it. He checks back. The flop comes out 8-5-3, all clubs. I check call. He bet, I think, 2K on the flop. I called 10 of hearts. On the turn, it goes check, check. And then the river was a 5 of spades, pairing the board. This time I do decide to go for a little bit of value, and I think I bet 2K, and he quickly called and snap mucked when I showed my hand. So that was round number 2. We're up 2-0 against him. And then a few hands later, I'm gonna open the blind with king-9 of hearts, and he's in the small blind, and he 3-bets it to like 8.5K, and we're about 40 big blinds effective, and I probably should call this, but this was one of those spots where I told you I'm a little bit rusty, and I probably didn't take my time thinking about this, and I just folded it. But usually that would be a call, playing him from position. But there are softer spots at the table, so I guess maybe it's okay that we don't have to take those marginal spots. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough day with Craig on my left. Oh yeah, and then on the next orbit, I opened ace-4 on the button. He 3-bet me again to 8.5 or something. But then luckily the big blind, ace-4 off is actually a fold this time, but luckily the big blind went all in for like 27K, and that made it really easy. And he also folded as well. So yeah, I think he's just 3-betting me pretty light. So the hand that I think I really misplayed was pocket 7s under the gun. We're at a 1200 big blind. I raised to 2.5K, got 3 callers, so there's 10K in the pot, and the flop came out queen, queen, 6. It checked around to the last player who bet 5K, and I think he's trying to steal here a lot. I think I should probably go for a raise here to protect my hand. There's a lot of big, scary, bad cards on the turn that can come. But I stupidly decided to just call, and then Craig folded behind. So we're heads up, and it's another 6 on the turn. It goes check, check, and then an ace of spades on the river. And that's a really bad card for me on the river. He bets 12K. And I don't know why. I just stupidly made a call here. I'm losing to everything. I'm losing to the queen, losing to a 6, I'm losing to the ace. I guess I just got a little stubborn here. I don't know what I was thinking, really. I really don't know. Anyways, he has 7-6, so he had a smaller full house. So that one cost me, and yeah, I'm just not 100% playing my A game right now. It's clear, it's obvious. All right, we're back on another break. It's been a very slow and grindy 2 hours. The only hand I really had significant action on was a small double up. I started from the last break with 15K, and again I played another blind versus blind hand with Craig. I ripped it with ace deuce in the small blind. He called me with ace 7, and I ended up flopping the wheel, and right now I'm sitting on 34K. Craig has since busted, so 34K is about 8 big blinds right now. So even though it's more chips, it's in terms of big blinds, it's actually less than what I had at the last break. So definitely got to spin this up, but you know, just got to be patient. Got the former Poker Bros team here. What's up? What's up guys, happy Friday. Yesterday, the Mystery Millions event did not end well for me. That's okay though, because there are 4 starting flights for that tournament, so there's plenty of time to jump back in. For now, today, I'm gonna play the 1500 Limit Hold'em event. I like playing Limit Hold'em. It's one of my favorite forms of Hold'em. I prefer to play it over No Limit, and I know a lot of you are probably watching this thinking, what the hell, why in the world would I rather play Limit Hold'em? I think it's a really misunderstood game. A lot of the media and like literature and coverage in the poker world over the last couple of decades has predominantly been on No Limit Hold'em, so that naturally is where a lot of players are gonna, you know, flock to and learn and start playing. So they have a misunderstanding on how to adapt to Limit Hold'em, and I think that's what gives me an edge in this game. It also makes this field maybe a little bit softer for me to compete against. So that is the plan today, and then if I don't make day 2 or day 3 of the Limit Hold'em, I can always jump back into the Mystery Millions. So let's go see how this day goes. I have 1 of each chip left. It's not a good start, really bad start. I lost 2 big pots to the same guy. I feel like he played both of those hands very well. All right, so the first hand, the button opened 2 bets, the small blind 3 bet, and I had 9-7 suited spades in the big blind. I'm getting 3 to 1 just to call at least. And my hand flops pretty well. So I call, the button calls were 3-way, and the flop came out 3-4-6 rainbow. I have a gutter and 2 overs. It goes check to the button, who bets, and then call. The turn was a 10 of hearts, so there's 2 hearts on the board. Now I have a double gutter, and I felt like this on this board, it's pretty good for my range in the big blind. So I decided to lead out. One bet, the button raises 2 bets, small blind folds, I have to call, and then there's a king of spades on the river, and I would like to bluff here and take it down, but it just can't do it because that king is not a good bluff card for me at all. So I check and he checks back pocket 5s. So I thought he played that hand pretty well. Just in case, proof of my chip in a chair story. I was down to 1 chip. I doubled it up to a little bit over 10K. And then I get pocket aces and I got rivered and I'm done. So this guy limped under the gun, which is pretty rare in Limit Hold'em. I have aces in the cutoff. I 2-bet, it folds back to the limper, he calls. It's 10-9-3 with 2 spades. I continue, he calls. 2 of clubs on the turn. He checks, I bet, he 2-bets, I 3-bet, he calls. King of clubs on the river, he checks, I bet, he raises, I call. He has king 10, he river 2 pair, and that left me with 600, 6 chips, which is not even a big blind. And I get pocket deuces and put it in against pocket 6s, and I did not improve. So that is a very shitty day here in the 1500 limit, and I'm gonna probably just play some cash for the next couple days and then play the Mystery Millions again on Sunday. It is what it is. Alright, good morning guys. Today is Sunday morning. It's my 5th day in Vegas so far. Yesterday I took the day off from tournaments. I played some cash games. I did pretty well at the Bellagio. I played the 2040 game. and today is the last day to enter the mystery bounty event, so that's the plan. Gotta run it up today. As expected, it is extremely crowded here on the final day of the Mystery Millions. I registered during the break, which was kind of a mistake because the hallways were crammed like sardines, but I found my table. I'm on the horseshoe side for the first time this year. All right, I had a feeling that yesterday's cash game session was a momentum swing, and so far today, that's what's going on. I picked up pocket kings, got it all in pre-flop for ace king, we held, and a few hands later, I get aces under the gun. I get 2 callers from the cutoff in the big blind. Flop was queen 8-5 with 2 hearts. I see bet, the cutoff calls. It's a 6 of spades on the turn, so there's 2 hearts, 2 spades out there. I bet again, and the cutoff puts in a pretty big raise. There's a lot of draws out there, 2 flush draws, straight draws. I decide I'm not folding aces here. I put it in. He calls with queen 8. I have him covered with like 10K, and I need the board to pair with a 5 or a 6 or an ace, and I got the 5. So we got a pretty good stack, and our table broke. We are now in the next horseshoe room. Let's go. We're on the registration break. I've got 135K going to 4K big blind. The only significant pot I've really played over the last 2 hours was when I ran queens into pocket aces against a short stack. But I peaked at 180, 182K I think, right before that hand. So right now we just gotta grind. The first bag of summer is a transfer bag. So when they condense from the horseshoe to the pair side, everyone has to carry their chips in a bag, and they walk us over. All right, we're about 10 minutes away from returning from dinner break. Things are going pretty good. Right now I'm sitting on about 350 or 360K. I got one pretty big double up before dinner at the 3K, 6K level. The low jack opened to 12K. I started the hand with, I think, about 140. And I have pocket 9s, and it's a little bit less. It's about 23 big blinds. Normally I would just go all in here, but I know from experience from this event, playing it last year, that we're gonna get down to the money really, really fast in this huge field. And there's so much equity with the potential bounties making it to day 2. So I decided just to call with the 9s, and then the button called. So there's 51K, we're multi-way to the flop, and it came out king 9-4 rainbow. The low jack checked it. I bet 15K, which is a pretty small sizing. The button calls, and low jack folded. The 2, I think it was a 2 of hearts on the turn, and now I bet 42K. The button calls. He starts the hand with like over 300K. And then the river was a deuce of diamonds or something, or a deuce of clubs. So I fill up, and I go all in for my remaining 70K. He snap calls, but I don't even know he didn't even show his hand. So obviously he had at least a king, but he was the type of player that was kind of not so experienced, and that was also another reason why I decided to bet on that flop instead of just checking it, because I felt like he was going to be calling too much in a multi-way pot. So it worked out. That was a double up. Right now we are about to go hand for hand on the bubble. We're playing down to 1,140 players in the final flight of the Mystery Millions. And I don't even know what the min cash is, but that doesn't matter. We need to get a bag. We're still playing down to 22 levels, so long ways to go.
7 of them won their hands, and we lost 3.
So you just heard the announcement. There were 7 all-ins on the last hand. 4 of them survived, 3 of them busted. So we're still 3 away from the money. So we just did our 3rd hand for hand. And this process is a long process when there's a huge field, because every all-in that happens, a tournament director has to come and watch it one table at a time to determine who gets in the money and who doesn't. And if there's more than 3 players that bust out, they're gonna have to split the cash for the smallest payout. So it's taken about 30 minutes to play the last 3 hands so far.
Congratulations, you have made money.
Right behind me is the tournament clock for this flight that we're playing. We still have 3 more 30-minute levels to play today, so we're probably gonna end up bagging at around 5 or 6% of the field. Tomorrow, day 2, is where all the bounties start going into effect. Right now I have about 320K with 20K big blind coming up, so 16 big blinds. So it's getting kind of short, but it's normal at this stage of the tournament. And you guys saw that gross hand where I opened on the button, and the big blind, who's been playing way too many hands, he's just been jamming. He rips it from the big blind with ace-6 off. I snap called kings and he flops the ace. I got him back on the very next hand where he snap called me with pocket 5s, and I rivered the king, but that was kind of painful. So this is the last break of the night, and this is really the last few levels where we really want to try to spin it up, because ideally we'd like to start day 2 with the big stacks that we can be in contention for some of those bounties, rather than being a target. But you know, first things first, got to get to day 2 first. That sucks. I didn't make day 2, but I did cash for 16-15, and that's 2 consecutive years that I've done decent in this tournament, so I'm happy about that. I got so basically what happened, under the gun open, I have like 13 big blinds. I defend the big blind with king queen offsuit. The flop came out jack 10-4, something with 2 diamonds, and I just open rip it, about 10 or 11 big blinds. Want to get max fold equity there. He thought about it for a while and then called off ace 10, and I did not improve to an ace 9 or a king or a queen. So that's how the run ends. I think I'm gonna stick to cash games for the next couple of days, and we'll see if I decide to come back to Vegas later this month to play some more tournaments. See you guys.